Hello there. I built me an igloo. This was originally a semicircled wall about ankle high, and then today we decided to pile up the sides and cut some bricks out of the snow that we could and build us an igloo. Once I got it so high, I put 2 boards across the top and the kiddie pool on it, buried the sides with remnant snow from the yard, and fashioned myself a little tunnel entrance here, which I'm going to try to survive out here for a little bit. I'm going to boil some water and use a little cook stove to see what kind of heat I can hold out in here. I've also got a tiki lamp burning some paraffin lamp oil just so I can see. I've also got a battery powered light. Here is my Marine ILBE assault pack. I don't know if you can see that. And inside here I have a cordless lamp. It's got high and low, it's rechargeable. And it'll probably last us an hour or so until it gets dim, and then if it was dim it would still run for a week. Camp fuel, some Coleman white gas in here. And then in the provision sack on my bag, I have an REI Firefly cook stove. And with that, I'm going to boil some water and have myself a spot of tea. And while that's boiling, I've got some beer.
When I was a candidate, I had a meeting with.
Alright, I'm here. I got my beer. Got a battery-powered AM radio. A Mylar bivy sack that I'm just putting up as a reflector. Tiki lamp and an electric lamp. Here's my REI or MSI, whatever you want to call it, Firefly. I'm going to light it here. I spilled some fuel on my thing, so I've already pumped this guy up. Alright, apparently with this you're supposed to preheat the wick there. You light it, dump some fuel in there and light it. And then I'm going to open the valve. This thing. I guess you prime it. I don't know why that's made that way. I'm using camp fuel here. This stove can burn alcohol or diesel. There are different jets you can use. Mobile device doesn't like to focus for some reason. It's getting nice and warm in here. I just poked 2 little vent holes with the broomstick. I don't have a vent hole considering I have this plastic swimming pool here. I'd cut a hole in it if I didn't pay $25 for it. So we'll let all the excess fuel burn off of this guy. Come back to it in a second. Alright, I'm using YouTube Capture. I had to reset it because the focus got stuck. But here's the stove. It's a little noisy, but apparently I guess it can burn for 120 minutes off a full cylinder. Here I got a little cook pot. I'm going to add some water to it. Let me get that out here. Alright, so stove is on, pot's on the stove. I'm going to add some water to it. It's probably about 4 cups worth there. About half a quart. This would be 8 cups. Well, or 8 ounces. 2 cups, 8 ounces. So this should probably take about 3 to 5 minutes to boil. The water is swirling around a little bit. I don't know if you can see that past the glare. May as well drop my tea bag in there. Alright, let's try to do that without burning the string. It's a neat little stove, but it's pretty close to the fuel bottle. I've got this generic Goodwill found sports bottle sleeve guy that I've got it stuffed in there mainly just for packing purposes. And I figured it'll say if this is alcohol, it'll help keep the pressure in the bottle up without it getting too cold too quickly. So we'll let my sack steep in there, and I'm just going to drink this tea right out the can. It's probably a little more water than I needed for the bag, but oh well. Now it's getting warm enough in here for the snow to melt off this bucket I've been using to hustle snow around with. My intent here is to raise the temperature in my igloo for the walls to glaze over and seal up. And then from the outside I've been burying the building in more snow, giving it more thermal mass. Hopefully, if we get enough snow in the season, I can build enough bulk of this thing. It may last through April, March or April. Smoke me a rolling tobacco. This is Top brand. And in here I got a little bit of something else added to it. Turn the flame up on that guy. I pumped my fuel bottle probably about 5 to 10 strokes. Seems like if you try to pump it anymore, it's got like a pressure bypass. The bottle is 90% full, so it probably won't allow me to pump it up since there's not as much air inside to compress. So with that, I assume I'm going to have to pump it up a few pumps every 5 to 10 minutes. Alright, I'm partially standing up in here. I'm 6'2". I'm bent over, but I just hung my Mylar blanket in the doorway and I had to screw with the snow on top of it. And got a little bit on me, so I was able to stand up and shake it off. I'm sitting on my ILBE bag to insulate my anus from the ground. There's not really enough room to lay down if I wanted to sleep in here, but I could hide out in here, sit in an upright position if I had a wool blanket or whatnot, if I really needed to. It took me about 4 to 6 hours to build this guy. I've been out here from about 1 a.m. till about 1 p.m. And then, part of the wall up to here was already there from previous. The mean temperature's about 30 degrees outside or so. In here, I don't know what kind of degrees it is. There is a little bit of heat coming off of the stove, which I need to pump up again. My pot of tea is not quite boiling, but I don't want it so hot that I can't drink it. This is water from inside. I could try to melt the snow down, but who knows if it's radioactive or not. My battery's probably gonna quiche out on me after a bit. But here I am in my igloo. I could sit out here for as long as I felt occupied. I'm not cold at all. My sleeves are a little wet. I'm wearing what I wore to put this on, build this thing. I have this fleece sweatshirt on, a regular t-shirt on, and then these German issue snow pants with a fleece flannel pants underneath it and a long john. And then my shoes, rubber insulated shoes with the liner and like a wigwam style sock. I was wearing regular shoes outside, which they didn't get terribly cold. They did get snowy, and then when I went inside they got wet from started melting, but they didn't soak through. But I put these shoes on to come back out here and sit in my building here. Alright, I'm going to remove my tea. Well, I don't know, maybe I'll let it cook some more. But I could let the stove continue to burn, except that I don't want to suffocate from fumes in here. I can see carbon monoxide becoming a risk. I do have my vent holes to keep me alive. Put the Mylar blanket on because, you know, enough wind comes through here. But this will give me a thermal barrier. I don't know if you can see my tunnel, but it kind of slopes down. The entrance on the outside is about 6 inches lower than the top of it here. And then that would bring the height of the tunnel is about here relative to my vent holes. So that gives me from here to here for air to stand, heated air. And then of course the volume of my swimming pool, although it's not insulated above there. Now I'm starting to get condensation on my space blanket because I'm obviously boiling, plus my own body heat, and then whatever vapor comes off the fuel as it burns. And whatever the ice is sublimating in here. I suppose I could try to get this to come to a boil, because being here in this cold igloo, I can set the pot on the snow if I wanted to cool it off right away. I want to make sure that my stove is capable of boiling. Turn it up a little more. There we go. Oh, boiling over there. I don't have a lid for this pot. So now I got the heat flame turned all the way. Oh, that's all the way open. Alright, it's starting to smell like tea in here now. Take that off of there. Set that up here. Here's what our stove looks like as it burns. There are different jets that go to this. I'm not sure if I have the right one, since the stove is something I found in a box in the attic. And then I found all the jets and accessories to it later after I put it together here in my kit. I'm just running the white gas in it. But I can feel the heat off of it up to here. Now that I've got the pot off of there, it seems to be warming up in here a lot more. And I feel like I got a little bit of a breeze coming in the door now. At least I know I'm not going to choke to death. We got a little bit of a draft. Oh yeah, it's getting nice and warm in here now. I'll come back to you here in a second. Alright, I've been out here for the better part of an hour. I turned my stove off shortly after the last video. And now I just put my stuff away. My lamp has been off the whole time. I'm just about finished with this beer. I'm going to pack it up and call it a day out here. I'd say the average temperature in here is probably about 40 degrees if I were to guess. My clothes are a little bit wet. It's becoming annoying, although I'm not cold as far as shivering. My hat does pretty well. and I'm pretty warm between my torso and my thigh. My ankles are a little chilly, and my hands are a little chilly from just handling everything. But yeah, it's my igloo. See you later.